so I was sitting there, and it's just really powerful because when I started teaching, I realized, and God gave to me that children are our most precious gifts. Amen. Last year, I had an opportunity to address our senior citizens as we celebrated seniors. And in that moment, I realized that where children are our most precious gifts, that our elders and our seniors are our most priceless gifts. And just as I was preparing to come up in this moment, God revealed to me that our mothers are the greatest gifts. And so on today, I would like to just speak briefly and say thank you, Mother. Thank you, Mama, for understanding the assignment. And so in this moment, I would love for you to be able to look at your mamas. And if your mother isn't here with you, I know that when we think about the heroes of faith, and how the Bible talks to us about how, Moses and those, Abraham and all of them, they stand. And even though they're not here and they didn't, make that promise with us, that they still look and they see the work that is being done, that they stand. It talks about those heroes of faith. And so in my heart of hearts, I believe that our mothers who have gone on before us, that even though they are not here with us naturally so, that they still stand with those heroes of faith and they watch you. I believe they still watch over you. I believe that they still know every accomplishment that you've made, that they're rooting for you. And so in this moment, if your mama is here, I would ask that you look at your mom. And I've already said it to my mom, so I'm not going to turn around and look at her, because if I do, you ain't going to get nothing out of me. It's going to be over, right? So I ask, if your mama's here, that you look at your mother and just tell her, Mama, thank you for understanding the assignment. Is your mama here? Anybody mama here? And so, as a corporate body, let's say it together. Mama, thank you for understanding the assignment. Yeah. And so what I also know is this, is that God has created women. I'll never forget the lesson that Pastor Lorraine taught when we was talking about creation, and when she was talking to us about when God spoke about making man in his image. And so, she broke down to us that, they're talking about the spirit male man and the spirit female man. In other words, that when God decided to make man in his own image, he was speaking of the spirit, of Christ. But what he did, and so strategically well, he chose to put his spirit in a male body and in a female body. In other words, when he created us by design. That he created us with specific purposes in mind. He created us to be able to do what none other can do. And so I asked Brother Craig to just quickly, first I want you to read Genesis chapter 1, verse 26.
Then God said, let us make mankind in our image, in our likeness, so that they may rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, over the livestock and all the wild animals, and over all the creations that move along the ground.
Yeah. And so then in Genesis 2 and 20, and he's going to read from Genesis chapter 2, verse 20, and take us out.
So the man gave name to all the livestock, the birds in the sky, and all the wild animals. But for Adam, no suitable helper was found. So the Lord God caused the man to fall into a deep sleep. And while he was sleeping, he took one of the man's ribs and then closed up the place with flesh. Then the Lord God made a woman from the rib, and he had taken out of the man, and he brought her to the man. The man said, this is now bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. He shall be called woman, for she was taken out of man. That is why man leaves his father and mother and is united to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. Adam and his wife were both naked, and they felt no shame.
All right, and so in that moment, that is when God decided to give man the greatest gift, and that was woman. And I think, and just sitting here and looking at you all and kind of knowing some of you personally, I know without a question of a doubt that the women in this house, without any question, understand the assignment. I understand. I was looking at my namesake and some of those questions, and I know she's like, they liken them to like a mama bear. Like they don't play about them cubs. And then going a little further now, there's just certain things that I just know in relationship that you understand your assignment. And the good thing about it is, as I was thinking about Patti LaBelle's song, she had this song out called If Only You Knew. Like, if only you knew. Like, for every young sister and every young daughter that we have in here, that it is imperative that you truly know who you were created to be. Who you were truly purposed by design to be and to accomplish. If only you knew. For the brothers and the fathers and the sons that are in here, if only you really knew who she is and who she is designed to be in your life. If only you knew. And hopefully, if you don't know, you'll come to know. It is my prayer that for every man and every young son that is in this house, that God blesses you with a woman who truly knows her assignment. When the word said that he created them in his image, in other words, he created them to be imitators. We were created, and that's male and that's men too. God's creation was created to imitate him. And so therefore, we were called to be the greatest imitators of Christ. Now you just think about it. It says that God was able to look at nothing. Go to First Genesis. Go to creation. And let's talk about our creative beings, our creative selves, of who we are as women. First Genesis, first book in the Bible. My brother got it. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I got it. Want me to get it? You got it? Yeah.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and earth. Now the earth was formed and emptied. Darkness was over the surface, for the deep and for the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters.
So in other words, it says here, God was beginning to create, that where there was nothing, he saw something. Where there was nothing, he saw something. It's just like us as women, and I don't take anything away from brothers, but how a woman is able to receive the man that God has presented to her and see all the possibilities of how she's able to look at him and be able to see everything that he can be. You think about it. It says, the word says that when a man finds a woman, no, it didn't. It says when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. So in other words, you can find a companion, you can find a girlfriend, you can find a ride-or-die chick, you can find you one. But there's something different of when you find a wife. You know, the word tells us that if you receive a prophet as a prophet, you'll receive what? A prophet's reward. And I believe if you receive a woman as a wife, you will receive the wife's reward that the Bible references here. There's a reward that you get. And so when we talk about how women have the ability to do what none other can do, you think about if you bring a woman an idea, she'll give you a plan. If you bring a woman, buy her a house, she creates a what? A home. If you bring food into the kitchen, she creates a meal. She might. Pastor Brown said she might. On a good day. Right. And so what Pastor Brown knows is that really this is so powerful though. He's learned it. If he brings it into the house, she gonna cook it. But before that, he had to buy her some cute gadgets and some grillers and some air fryers and some in the home grill right. All of that. But guess what? It's in her to do. And so just as the beauty of man, when you give your seed, she's able to create life. And so when we think about woman as an incubator and how she's the giver of life, and the extraordinary capabilities that God gave unto her. She ain't just, God, here go all these songs. She ain't just a bad mama jamma, physically so, but spiritually as well, because of the way that God designed her. He designed her to be able to take that which was given to her and to carry it for a period of time because she was able to conceive. And as she receives that which was a conception, she then begins to develop it. And as it develops, it forms new life. A woman is built so that when those nutrients go into her body as she feeds and takes in for herself, before it actually goes to her, it first goes to the baby. And so when you stop and you think about how our mothers have lived lives of sacrifice, that before I have, I'm going to make sure that you all right. When you have a mother that tells you going to college, if I have to work 2 jobs, you going. If I have to clean somebody's house, don't you worry. You going. When you have a mother that understands the sacrifice of, I may want this, but God knows you ain't going out of the house looking any kind of way. Yeah. That sacrifice. And just think, it started in the womb. And how he created, that womb to be tough enough to guard you and to protect you from all hurt, harm, and danger. How powerful is the gift of our mothers. When we think about our mamas and how she's able to develop plans and ideas, just as it was with Christ when it talked about his creation of the sun and the moon. How strategic is she? God said, well, with the sun, we're going to give a greater amount of light. With the moon, we're just going to give light, but it'll be to a lesser degree. When we think about who she is, of her ability to be able to communicate to us that which is to come, that innate warning. I think about that old TV show, what was it, Lost in Space? And how when danger was approaching, she would just say, danger, danger. Not always specifically able to tell you exactly what it was, but I say this to you, when your mother tells you, I don't know what it is, I can't quite put my finger on it, trust and believe she knows what she's saying. I mean, think about it. You were physically a part of her for 9 whole months. So when we think about her ability to know, there is a connection that she has with you that started from the womb and will go to the grave. That part. And so therefore we say to even our children in here, understand that your parents and that your mama is assigned to you. If only you really knew. And I say this, that there is a blessing that comes out of having a mother who rides with you, who communicates with you, who again understands the assignment. And I say this to you, one of the greatest things about you, about us as women, is our ability to take the things that may have hurt us the most, to be able to take the sources of our pain, the objects that may have caused us frustration, disappointment, anger, sadness, to be able to take those objects and then turn it into our greatest subjects of triumph, of joy, powerful is that? As we are the greatest imitators of Christ, such as in the weakest moments of his life, his understanding that for every time the enemy attacked him, that God was on his side. Understanding that the cross was necessary because it gives you a greater victory. That for everything that you go through, because the reality of it is, and I can only imagine, for those 9 months having to carry another life, like in other words, literally, you were built for this. Like God literally created you to carry another. Literally. And so how powerful is it that he's done that spiritually so? So we thank you, praying mothers. Because you were built for this. And so we give you thanks and we honor you for understanding your assignment. And so for those of us who are children, you make sure that you take good care of your mamas. Because when we understand the reality of them being our most priceless gifts, because they are our elders, they're priceless. They're the greatest gifts that we could have. And so when we give thought to giving honor to whom honor is due, we have a responsibility. And it is what it is to take care of our parents. We have a responsibility not to forget who they have been to us. And I've seen many children go through this, that unfortunately life has hit their households and they have parents and moms who unfortunately have fallen to whether or not it was drug abuse, unfortunately not being as fit. But nothing changes the fact that they're still their mama and that there is a love that cannot be torn away. And so I charge you today to honor your mamas, to love them while you have them, to give thanks for all the sacrifices that they've made. Understand that a creator doesn't desire to see hurt, harm, or danger come to what was their greatest gift. And so therefore, be careful of how you receive their correction. Be careful of how you choose to sometimes ignore their truth that they give you as they know it. As strong as they were built to be, in the latter years, there is a gentleness and a softness that comes. And it is a time in which they can't quite carry you like they used to carry you. And so sometimes the weight of your words hurt. That sometimes the physical or silent response to what you may say to them, it grips. And one thing that you don't want to do is to cause your mother to find herself in a place where she weeps in reflection of all that she's done for you, all that she's given unto you out of the love for you. And the thing of it is if you ask a mama, she would say, and I would do it all over again. For those of you who have been given the gift of a woman to walk along your side, understand that you've been given someone who is actually able to give a greater life to your life. That you've been given someone who is able to fill the missing pieces because she came out of you, out of your rib. And so when God desires to give back to you that which is missing, receive it. Cherish it. Protect it. Give thanks for it. Mothers, thank you for understanding your assignment. We love you. There is none like you. Happy Mother's Day.